Hello my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, the 15th of June 2025, and today's video is for adults only, and it is about what's going on in Iran. I'm not going to speak about what's going on in Iran because you can actually listen to the news yourself. I'm going to speak about my experience about how the news is distributed in the Middle East. And I will try to convey to you how an Iranian person listening to the Iranian media understand the situation today in Iran, according to what I have been through and what I know from my country, from Egypt, as I was growing up. This is for adults only, we mentioned that, and if you remember, between 2005 and 2013, there was a president in Iraq. In Iran. His name was Ahmad Ahmadi Najad, and this man, he made a promise or vowed to eliminate the country of Israel from the map, get rid of it completely. Of course, to eliminate the country from the map, it means wipe out the people in this country too. So this, in a way, worse than Hitler. But where did he get this poisonous mind? Because this is poisonous way of thinking. Where did he get all that venom that is in his head? It's not a surprise. But one verse, I am trying to be careful, so you know where did he get that. Okay? Let me see that in Quran. Chapter 61, verse 13. Okay, it says, He will give you another favor. He is the Allah. He will give you another favor that you long for. But this time it was not sex. Okay? It was not women. It was not houri. Let's find out. Okay, help from Allah and imminent victory. Allah will help you and will give you imminent victory. So give good news, O Prophet, to the believers. Of course, this is like any good general, military general, never, ever tell the soldiers that we are in a weak position. Otherwise, the morale will go down. He always encouraged. But here, the Prophet of Allah is not saying that, that's the Allah himself. So imagine how much oomph these people will have to fight. Reading that, go to the mentality and the mind of somebody like Ahmadinejad. And there are many Quranic verses. I'm going to put them in the description box. For example, this one. The translation of the word to English, it means fight them. Fight. When you say fight, it's two people having a boxing match or wrestling match. Yeah. No. The word fight here is fight your enemy with the intention to get rid of him, kill him, and take his wife as a sex slave. Okay? Kill them. Kill the men. Why? So that there will be no The translation here, it says no persecution. That's wrong. That's a very dishonest translation. The word fitna, it means like everyone has to go in one direction. And that's the direction of the Prophet of Allah and Allah Himself, of course. Okay? You deviate from that, ought to be killed. Okay? So, in the mind of somebody who follows this, if you deviate from that, you ought to be killed. So here, if you are a Jewish person, what is your end? If you are a Christian person, what is your end? If you are Buddhist, Hindu, whatever, what is your end according to this? So when you have a president who is coming, all these Quranic verses, I'm going to put them in the description box. Okay, when you have a president of a nation wants to have nuclear power with the intention to destroy a nation completely, erase it from the face of the earth. And he insisted on carrying on with this program. And the people who came after him carried on. And you had a president of the United States filling up a whole airplane with cash, paper money, dollars, to give it to them, with the intention to assist them. To do what? President Hussein Obama. Hussein is not a Buddhist name. I'm trying to be careful here so that they don't delete the video. The name Hussein is the grandson of the Prophet of Allah. May the blessing of Allah be upon him. Very Muslim name, specifically for the Shiite. Okay? Hussein Obama took the money to Iran so that they can advance in producing the nuclear bomb. If they were to, you know what, I wish Egypt can have nuclear energy, because we don't have oil, so it makes sense to produce nuclear energy to use for your need. But Iran has a lot of natural gas and a lot of oil. And if you wanted also to secure nuclear energy, I don't think anyone will be against that. No one. You know what? If Saudi Arabia wants to secure nuclear energy for fuel, no one will object to that. But when you want nuclear energy to make a nuclear bomb to eliminate one nation from the face of the earth because of your own belief, Israel is not a dumb country. The Israelis are not stupid. They are aware of that. And they let him do whatever, they let Iran do whatever they want, as long as they had information. Where is everything at, and where are all these scientists at? I mean, with the killing of, what was his name? The guy was visiting the Iranian presidential palace. He got killed inside the palace. Haniya, Ahmad Haniya. He was killed inside the palace. That means the Israeli intelligence, they know where everyone is at any given moment during the day. And as they did with Hezbollah, uh, with the pagers, the explosive pagers, they eliminated the top rank from Hezbollah at once. At once. So you are dealing with a country that with people have brain. And you just, it's not like there are many countries who have nuclear power, nuclear bombs. China has it. America has bombs. Britain, France, many countries, India, Pakistan, many countries possess nuclear bombs. But when you give it to a person who is acting childish, this is like if I give a gun to a 5-year-old child to play with, real gun, loaded gun to play with. I wouldn't give it to a person who is an adult who doesn't know how to handle it. He could hurt me, he could shoot me by accident or intentionally, and he can also shoot himself. To give a person out of control like that kind of weapon, anyone, because that is his mentality, anyone who stand against him ought to be killed. So he is not going just to kill the Jews. No. Those who stand against him, also the Christian, the Buddhist, the Hindu, not only that, the Muslim who are from a different sect. So you have about 73% Sunni don't believe like the Shiite. So even 73% of the Muslim Sunni, which is almost like 1.5 billion people, will also be eliminated. That's how he will deal with his problems. And when a problem comes about, okay, eliminate them. Now, to talk about the culture, what I have experienced as a child until I became a grown-up person now. Whoever was born early 60s or in the 50s may have heard of that in 1967, let's start from beginning. Israel was established as a nation in 1948. After Second World War, many Jewish people, because of the atrocity that they suffered, they wanted to build their own nation so that they don't have to suffer what they have suffered during World War II. Any crazy person comes and use them as an scapegoat and murder them. So they wanted to go back to their homeland, where they originally migrated from, to whatever, Asia, Europe, Africa, whatever. They wanted to go back to feel secure in their homeland. So it was newly established country or nation. So they didn't really have a strong army to defend themselves. I actually read that for each 3 Israeli soldiers in 1948, they had 1 rifle. Whereas the Egyptian army at this time was well equipped by the British. The Syrian was well equipped. The Jordanian army was well equipped by the British. And all of them, they ganged on Israel, the newly established nation. Nonetheless, this fragile army and fragile people and fragile country managed to defeat all these nations. And I wonder, Allah promised you victory. He promised to assist you to victory. Have you ever asked yourself, wasn't that the good time? Weak Jewish nation that you consider descendant of uh, rats and monkeys. Why the Allah didn't help you then? Then later on comes the war of 1956. Okay? You lost. Of course, Britain and France helped Israel. But at the end, why? Okay, at least Britain and France was helping Israel. Why didn't you call on the Allah to help you? Who is stronger, the Allah or Britain and France? Lost. Where was your Allah? Later on, 1967, they call it the Great Defeat. This when the president of Egypt, President Nasser back then, he was sending waves of Egyptian soldiers and equipments and tanks, and he also wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Back then I was a child, and I remember the slogans and the posters they used to put on the street. In the sky we will burn them. On the sea we will in the sea we will drown them. On the land, I can't remember, but it was like, we will destroy the Jews, the Israelis and the Jews, no matter where. And as a child, Egypt is my country, these are our enemies, yeah, let's do it. And soon, it was June 5th and 6th of 1967. It took 2 days for Israel to destroy the Egyptian army, the Egyptian Air Force, the Jordanian, the Syrian. 2 days. Everything was gone. They called it the Great Defeat. Well, why the Allah did not help us at this moment? And these Jews are the descendant of the pigs and the monkeys and the rats. Where was Allah? He was nowhere to be found. He was hiding probably. Just ask yourself, any logic in this situation, in this stuff? No. And then it comes October 6th. Actually, it's the same, Yom Kippur, which is a day of atonement to the Jews. But because they use the lunar calendars, sometimes it changes a little bit. So when the people in Gaza invaded Israel, it was October 7th, but it is the same holiday. In 1973, it was October 6th, which was the same holiday. And Egypt and Syria took advantage of this day because they knew that this is a holiday for the Jews. And practically they do nothing. It's like Christmas in the West. Nobody's working, everybody's relaxing. And probably drinking and drunk. We took advantage of this. And within few days, yes, Israel received a heavy blow in the beginning. Okay? But soon after, they managed to break between the two divisions, the Egyptian divisions, and cross to the other side of the Sinai, to the mainland of Africa, to the mainland of Egypt, not in the Sinai desert anymore. And They actually stopped the supply to half of the Egyptian military. The half of the Egyptian army was at their mercy. Where was Allah at this moment? And also Syria lost miserably after they were advancing in the beginning. Where was Allah? Did He help you? He was nowhere to be seen or heard. It seems to me that if there is an Allah, this Allah is helping the Jews. How would you explain it? Now, I am telling you all that because it comes now to what's going on in Iran. In Egypt, as I was a child, especially in 1967, we had a brainwashing media, a state-controlled media. And this is what's happening in Iran. 2 days, Israel pounded the Egyptian army and the Syrian army. And the media was telling us that we are winning, that we are about to get rid of all the Jewish people in Israel, all the Israeli people, and will control Palestine. And as a child, I believed it. However, I had some doubt because the first news I heard is we destroyed, if I remember correctly, we destroyed 48 fighter of the Israeli Air Force. And 48 fighter in the first 2 hours. And even as a child, I couldn't, that does not make sense. But you cannot put things together. But it didn't make sense. So I was doubtful about what I hear, but many people, my father was shocked when he learned that the soldiers walk all the Sinai desert running away. I don't know how many miles it is, but it varied. But some like about probably 150 miles running. Because everything was destroyed. What is he going to do? So we see them coming. Lost miserably. That was in 1967. 1973. What you hear in the media that we are winning, always winning. It reminds me, for those who don't know that history, when America fought in Iraq. Remember that guy who was in charge of the propaganda? His name was Sahaf. The American forces about 20 minutes away from where he was standing, and he was giving these slogans that we are prepared, and no, they are so far, we are going to meet them out in the desert and destroy them all in about half an hour, and the whole project is done. Yeah, that's what we heard in Egypt. Today, in Iran, it's a controlled media. People are not allowed to hear. They hear only the propaganda. But I feel this is slipping. I'm giving my experience from that culture. People were fed poison about the Christian, about the Jews, about the Buddhists. Anyone who is not following your sect, specifically your sect, deserve to die. And they are evil. And we are massacring them now. So I wouldn't be surprised, which I heard now before I started, that the media is telling in Iran, telling everybody, we're taking care of business, stay home, be calm. We are punishing the Israelis. That's what they are hearing now. So anyway, I feel sorry to speak about this because I don't see the spilling of blood of Iranian, of Jews, of Ukrainian, Russian. A human being is a human being and ought to be treated well as a human. Thank you very much. Please share, comment. If you have a question, please post it. Thank you very much.